Morning, Chuck. Good morning, rail friends. Thanks for being with Casey and I this morning here at Rail Moments, where we are back at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum on the beginning of another day of excursions. First, you will see today is the Missionary Ridge Local. We should see them arriving at any moment, and they'll be coming from East Chattanooga and headed right past us, probably on this track. I'm going to assume will be their plan, but we are on a Y, a W-Y-E, so not sure their plans. They got a lot going on this morning, and they're going to Somerville this morning. Don't know if there's still tickets, if they're sold out or not, but it is a fantastic trip. Everything at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum is fantastic. We're not sponsored by TVRM. We are just a long-time guest of one of the best places, one of the largest railroad museums in the country. And we are so fortunate to have them right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, Missionary Ridge Local, all day long. Come on down if you've never been. The food here, the people here, the trains here, just everything here is just fantastic. Whoop! I think I hear steam today. What a special surprise if that is. Yes, there it is. Steam. I'm going to guess, look what it's 6:30. On the Missionary Ridge Local today. Oh, how cool is this, you guys? That's our conductor, Bo. He's going to be taking the train down to Chickamauga on the Chickamauga turn. Southern 5000 will be leading that train today, I was told. and they are getting it ready and situated. So once the Missionary Ridge Local pulls out, they will be able to position that train to load to head to Chickamauga, Georgia, for a 6 or 7 hour excursion.
Right there, top line in the 6 plate track 2. I'm going to here and start shoving. I did touch just a couple. Just got one double check on the switch route. Double check down track 2.
And at this point, 5000 is reversing to connect the rest of the train that's going to be headed to Chickamauga, Georgia on the Chickamauga turn today. Let's watch them couple that train as they get ready for a 10:15 this morning departure. Which means if you hurry, you still have time to get here. And yes, that is the conductors that you're watching and hearing on the scanner this morning.
Have the line up on here. Freeman L 5000. Big Bill 5000. There, 5000, drop that with 3, set it back. And about 3 double coaches or something. Drop 3 set bill, 3 portion coach. Everybody's clear. Set it for. Coach, 5000. Please be 5000. About 10, and hold 1, 5000. Back out 50 feet, 50, 4. times 5K. 3 steps, Raymond Ellis, 5,300. 3 steps, 5,300. Clear. Set that to the yard. Feet, 5 0. 5,000, cover 3, shut. And 1 feet. And 5 feet. 4 feet. 1 feet. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. And stretch it. You got it. Go back and put in again about 4 feet to the and 3 feet. 2, 1, and stretch it. Out 50 feet towards the reverse double. South out. 3 steps for Ellis. 3 step Ellis, south out. 300. 3 steps to draw. 5,000. Jump maybe drop on it. And drop down 3 steps. Some top wall. Jump 3 in.
Let's see if this is the lucky time when they get these 2 parts of the train to connect. As you heard, each time they stretch it out, it is not coupled.
And 1 0. And 5, 4, 3, 2 feet. But then press it. Got it. Again, about 3 feet, a little harder. Two more. And stretch it.
No, Bailey J Productions, they are going to Chickamauga today. So they are getting the Chickamauga turn ready to leave at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time today. And back to the station while we're working on that.
Okay.
Here at Grand Junction.
50 feet, 50.
Final boarding call for the Missionary Ridge Local, powered by 630 today. And we are at loading point, Grand Junction. Right next to the Norfolk Southern Main Line. Bailey J., good to see you this morning. As you can see, the conductor looks ready to go. He's not on board yet because I think we still have one member of the train off the train. Not sure though. They are still working on connecting the Chickamauga turn train together. But for the moment, we're going to stay tuned right here as we get to watch the steam and smoke from the coal-burning 630 doing the honors today on the front of the Missionary Ridge Local.
Got a few more, Jack. Interesting.
And on the scanner, you will hear Norfolk Southern traffic this morning, CSX traffic this morning, because we are only a half a mile from the W&A subline, and the TVRM staff, along with others this morning. As final preparations are underway
Yeah, let's try hitting a little bit harder.
for the Missionary Ridge Local.
Turn 2, so not so far the problem. I got an idea. 630, drop the ramp left. Alright, drop ramp left. There.
Okay.
Reset McGraw. Reset McGraw, up down. Drop back down. Drop back down. Okay, 50 feet to couple.
And now they are going to turn this train around, which is not an easy thing unless you have a lot of acreage. Let's watch how this is done. And they are on part 1, leg 1 of the Y, W-Y-E.
Zero. And 10. 4, 3. Just 5K. Okay. 3 Vanilla, 5,000. 10 Vanilla, 5,000.
Looks like we got someone yet to put on the train. There they go. One more passenger on this train. Now we're going to start over. Time to turn this train.
Drop off 5,000. All hands, brakes are released. Aboard in the clear. Yes, indeed. I'm ready to pull off. Point once we shout out the section. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm in the clear. In there, 5,000.
As they pull the Missionary Rigs Local with 630 onto the furthest point of leg 1. The Chickamauga turn train is getting positioned so that they can be out of the way when 630 reverses. Shortly, 630 will begin backing the Missionary Ridge Local onto the second part of the Y, leg 2. And in the meantime, they're beginning their backing process. In the meantime, they are now backing in, or will back in momentarily, the Chickamauga turn train, led by Southern 5000.
100.
And while that happens, they are now swinging on to part 2 of the Y. 630 is reversing back onto the second part as they turn this locomotive.
Section activated. Alive and locked. Clear crossing, clear tail track. Cab take the seat. There, 300, I can see you're clear. Back to the East Lake Spring, got you clear for 5 coach. 500.
about it last night. No, on here. On the live last night. Yeah, it starts at 9, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was in Scottsburg until dark. So I was probably on the road around the time for a while.
See anything exciting last night?
No. Saw one train. Missed one, saw another. That's just catching that same train and white side. Accidentally catching it again. A couple other spots.
Take up one start.
Anyways, check it out.
Okay, deal.
Go get breakfast.
Hope you have a fantastic turnout today.
Yeah.
Hello again, rail friends. Thanks for being here with Casey and I this morning as we watch the Chickamauga turn start boarding and get ready to make its way down to Chickamauga, Georgia today on this excursion. All kinds of things going on at TVRM today. And that was Bryce. He was telling us and reminding us as we talked last night, TVRMI, the Tennessee Valley Model Railroad, is having open house today. And they're up in the building that is up by Cromwell Road, which is the entrance to TVRM. So they have open house from 9 to, I think it's either 1 or 3, I'm not sure which. But open house today. So make sure you stop. They are a great group of guys. They have a fantastic layout in there. It's all in different sections. They've got a control point, a dispatcher that works back in the back in a different room. They communicate by radios, get authorization to proceed, lights, etc. So make sure while they're having their open house, go up and see Andy and Bryce. Tell them that Mike sent you on up there and visit them. You want to go to Chickamauga, this leaves at 10:15. I heard that there were still tickets available, so you've got 25 minutes to get into the parking lot, get a ticket, and get on this train, because you don't want to miss. And they're going to be going all the way through downtown Chattanooga, and then down the old Center of Georgia line, and they'll go past tag lines, so all kinds of history as you go down to historic Chickamauga. And then they'll come back this afternoon. On the other side of this train, Norfolk Southern Tracks. Just amazing place. All kinds of things here. As we take a look back at the yard on the static displays. If you've never been to TVRM, this is a huge place with all kinds of things going on. And this is just one end of TVRM. There's a whole nother world where the Missionary Ridge Local is at. behind me, TBRM 5000 was built in 1970. Oh, hey, the rabbit's here. Hey, you guys, there's the rabbit. There. Rabbit's got to make sure he doesn't trip. His big old white bunny feet. So as we were saying, today's train to Chickamauga, the Chickamauga turn is being led by TBRM 5000, or the Southern 5000 as you'll see it as it goes through town. It's built in 1972. It was one of 257 GP38-2 locomotives that was purchased by the Southern Railway System, and then in 2016 TBRM acquired the Southern 5000, restored it, and it's in the beautiful condition that you see it today. So, for those of you that get ready, you'll see it going down that path to Chickamauga. They depart here at 10:15, April 19th, 2025, at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. So, we're going to roll back to the boarding area, and then we're going to move spocks so you can see everything take off. Have a good trip. You're welcome. All right, everybody. Y'all put your seatbelts on. We're going to take a quick trip. We're going to get set up for the departure and so we can see NS traffic. So y'all don't go nowhere. But like I said, do fasten your seatbelts because I am going to take you for a ride. Don't want y'all to get seasick, so, and because we are live, I can't turn you off, so let's go to our next spot. Everybody ready? I'll try and make it gentle. We're gonna go on the crossing here. Where just last week, Thomas hung out with us right here on these very tracks. So, when you do live, you can't cut and start. So what I do, you see. Here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Whoa! Stubbed the toe there. I'm sorry. Woo! That's a long walk. Alright, gonna set y'all down. Yeah, aren't y'all just a little crooked there? Let me fix that for you guys. Alright. As we get resituated, if that's such a word. And adjusted back. Let's just see, how crooked do I have you guys? 6, they will be departing westbound towards Chattanooga. The Missionary Ridge Local will travel down along Hoke's Claw, down to 23rd Street, pass over onto NS lines, and down the old tag line, and continue on down to Chickamauga, Georgia this morning. They'll be down there for about an hour and a half, and then they will come on back up. We'll see if maybe we catch them at 23rd Street today, but we're not going to chase them. Right up there, Norfolk Southern trackage. Double track at that point. Coming in and out of Chattanooga on the east side of Chattanooga. As you see the staff getting back on, railroad crew, engineer, conductor, everybody getting ready for their trip where they will depart. In about 12 minutes, and that's one of the great things about TVRM. They always, well, almost always operate on time, but when you're dealing with things and equipment that are 100 years old, sometimes it's a little bit challenging. Hey, ain't right. At the exit in Mont Eagle, there is the smokehouse. I'm trying to think of the property, but that's probably where we're going to stay. And they've got the restaurant up there. There's several great restaurants in addition to the chain restaurants there. All right, we are having a little problem with that sun there this morning. It's now in the camera's eye. And the Southern 5000 that you're looking at there, we may have to move here just a tad, since that sun is now blasting into the camera. All right, the Southern 5000 again here at TVRM. TVRM has a long list of operating locomotives, but in front of you currently is the Southern 5000. Again, it was built in 1972 for Southern Railway System, and it was one of 257 locomotives that they purchased. And it has been home right here since 2016. And we are 9 minutes to departure. Hey, ain't right. Also, tentatively, hey, right. Tentatively, they are going to have a morning session in Bridgeport, so that might affect your plans a little bit. And then the afternoon session is, and that's still up in the air. Brian hasn't told me what they finally ended up deciding, if they've decided, but they're trying to do the first half in Bridgeport, Alabama, which is a really beautiful depot and a great spot, and then the Cowan event in the afternoon. So I'll keep you all posted on that. And then don't forget, the first weekend in May, here 2025, they're having another Railfan event over in Decatur, Alabama on Saturday. And I don't have that date with me, but it's the first Saturday of May 2025 going on. So that's happening, coming up here very soon. Today, up in the very front, Tennessee Valley Model Railroad, and then there's an I. I forget what the I stands for, but open house at the Model Railroad, which is a totally interactive, active club where they have layouts all over different areas. You can't see between one and the other, so you've got a train dispatch set up there, so it's real setting time where you get authorization for your trains to proceed to the different areas, just as if you were here in the area. So make sure you stop up. It's in the front building on Cromwell Road. Open house started this morning at 9 a.m. So Tennessee Valley Model Railroad, and I forget what the I is, but I think it's Model Railroad. But like I said, they got all kinds of stuff in there. I'm not familiar with the scale, but it's huge. It's the entire first floor of that massive building. And so swing by, say hi to everybody up there and get to know them, and they'll take it from there once you walk in the door and make you feel right at home. Just like they do here at Grand Junction with Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, where we're watching the Chickamauga turn get ready to depart from right here at Grand Junction.
I need to work my way back.
And behind it, the signal tower up on the Knoxville West End lines, double track where you see both sets of tower lights for the outbound traffic from Chattanooga, the eastbound traffic that would be, to be exact, where we're getting ready to watch Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum Excursion to Chickamauga get ready to depart. And those two fellows are going to make it happen. All right, Tony, we're going to be flying that new plane pretty soon. that last minute preparation, getting all his sheiks ready and all that railroad stuff to make his trip. As the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum excursion to Chickamauga gets ready for departure. From Grand Junction here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, next to modern day Norfolk Southern trackage, where we saw our first train earlier today at the beginning. And then shortly afterwards, we will see the 6:30 return. And they have to time this train with that because it is single track once they leave here for the Southern as they go across 4 bridges and through a very, very old railroad tunnel. So 4 bridges in a tunnel will wait this group, and then they'll start their trek through Chattanooga, down Hoaxclaw, past the zoo, over the 23rd Street, where they'll make that left turn down the old tagline, and they'll be on Norfolk Southern trackage at that point. And I just saw another conductor board. And for those of you getting ready to chase the Chickamauga turn, make sure you get some fantastic morning pictures. And 6 hours from now, they will be back. And more folks are arriving for the next Missionary Riggs Local. So there's stuff going on all over this place this morning, not to mention the great big cute rabbit running around here this morning that you saw earlier right here on Rail Moments. Captain Bunny. We do have the scanner on, so when they do say they are ready to go, I haven't heard anything from the train crew on the radio. light check there. Makes me believe we're getting closer.
Problem.
So for those of you chasing the Chickamauga turn today, get those pictures of Southern 5000. They are on the track and they are on the way, where all those folks are going to get to experience 4 bridges and a hand-dug tunnel over the next 3 miles before they move on to the line to make their trip westbound down past Holtzclaw, all the way down to 23rd Street, where they'll hit the switch, be on NS, go down the old tag line, and end up in downtown Chickamauga, where the Gordon Lee Mansion is, and historic Crawfish Springs. So we're going to stay right here for a little bit longer because we have the return of 630 coming. 630 is the steam locomotive that's running today here at TVRM. And who knows, we may squeeze in another Norfolk Southern train up on the main tracks. And what will happen is, currently at East Chattanooga, which is the location of Sewell Shops, they will be awaiting the Chickamauga turn to pass them, and then they will proceed our way. And with the 6:30 on today, we should hear that steam whistle way in advance today. And while we're waiting, we'll just kind of take a little spin through the neighborhood. Again, up there is Norfolk Southern, Knoxville West End, and right underneath, CSX track. Now, not the main line, it's a spur for CSX, goes on over to the Volkswagen plant, over to the trying to think of the name of the facility over the old TNT plant, the old property at that area where they refurbish rail cars and all kinds of stuff. Big industrial park where Volkswagen's located. That track right underneath there goes right underneath Norfolk Southern. That CSX line goes all the way down. Up top, Norfolk Southern, like I said, is dual track at this point. There are your outbound signal towers. And over on that bungalow, let's see if we can see it for you. Control Point Jersey. And then right on the other side of it, another set of lights for that signal tower, different style, arm across versus the two individual for the inbound traffic headed towards Chattanooga. So our trains coming into Chattanooga from Atlanta and Knoxville lines will go right past there. And from here, they'll either make it to going into the DeBuck's yard, or they will go up the C&O and TP to Cincinnati, or they'll take the bypass tracks on the outside, along the outside edge of the DeBuck's yard, and head on over to the Waxahachie Lookout Valley area, and either go down the joint line, which will take them on to Memphis, Huntsville, or for CSX up to Nashville, and then the AGS line, which will take them down to Birmingham. And beautiful, although it's hidden by all those beautiful pear trees, big, full, fluffy, full leaf Bradford pears. Behind that is a great big Grand Junction facility here at TVRM. And Miss Lisa and staff in there have some of the best food. And on that train that you just saw, more incredible food. Chef Micah and all the rest of the staff here, man, can they whip up some food at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Some of the rolling stock here at the museum on the different lines, where earlier this morning when we started, you saw our Chickamauga turn train set up in 2 pieces, and then they turned it into 1. And like I said, this is one of the largest railroad museums in the country. Not the largest, but one of the top ones. Top 10 or so, top 12, someplace in there, maybe top 12. There's the parking lot. There's also an artifacts and historical building on the other side of those trees. You can come picnic, camp, get food here, bring food, sit under the trees out there, listen to the birds, watch the deer and the antelope roam, you name it. And you're probably going to be hard pressed on the antelope part. And I said, we are going to stay for the return of 6:30. And from the TVRM website, about 20th century steam. The Southern Railway 630 was crafted by the American Locomotive Company, ALCO, in 1904. So the 630 has been hanging out, serving the South. Yeah, I got some activity going on. Since 1904, and is a Class K designation featuring a 2-8-0 wheel arrangement or consolidation. And after its time with the Southern Railway, it found a new life with the East Tennessee and Western North Carolina Railroad up in Junction City, Tennessee. And at that time, it was renumbered. The 630 was renumbered as locomotive number 207 and worked between Junction City and Elizabethton. And then in 1967, when the Southern Railway system regained possession of the 630 in exchange for a diesel locomotive, it became part of the Southern Railway Steam Excursion program. Boy, I wish we had that back again. We got all kinds of stuff going on as they're getting ready for other events here. More staff working on what's next to come for you guys. And in 1978, TVRM became the custodian of 630 under a lease agreement, which is what is now with Norfolk Southern, since they acquired the Southern. And here it is today. And in 1999, it became TVRM's. They started the restoration in 2001, according to the TVRM website. And a decade later of restoration, $750,000 worth, the Southern Railway 630 returned to service in 2011. what a great thing that TVRM has done. And we see all the folks up at the depot. Not all of them, just some of them. Everybody's waiting on 6:30 to get here. Hello, Robert, and good morning to you. And you guys, we have a great big 6'4" tall rabbit here today. Nope, I'm not kidding. I held the door for him and touched his fur. So, more folks are arriving here in the parking lot for the next Missionary Ridge local train. Excuse me. Which is being pulled by the 6:30 steam locomotive this morning that we just talked about. And we are going to watch it return right here before we end this live, because then we're going to stop up and visit the Model Railroad Club. It's right up there on the other side of those train cars. And I forget, it's TVMRI, but I forget what the I stands for, but it's Tennessee Valley Miniature Railway, or Model, Tennessee Valley Model Railroad, and then there's an I, but I forget what the I stands for. But anyhow, it's open house day. They got a huge, massive running system up there, interactive. They got control point set up in the back. They operate by radios. You get authorization to move your trains and stuff. It is really a cool setup. So make sure you stop up and see Andy and everybody that's up there. And being the day before Easter, like I said, the big rabbit is here. We were going to say running around up there, but that would be wrong. He's up there hopping around. As we rail fan together here on the NS line, traffic has been kind of quiet. We've seen 2 in the last hour and 40 minutes up on the NS line here, Norfolk Southern line at Jersey. If any of you guys are trackside, let us know where. After we conclude here, we're going to have breakfast. We're going to stop by the Model Railroad Association building, and then we're going to go find some breakfast at Trackside. Best breakfast in town, if you ask me. And since everything comes up real quiet, surprisingly, they come around a curve right before that trestle, and poof, just sometimes there is the next Norfolk Southern train. And because of the control lights, a lot of times they stop right there before they hit that bridge. And that wind's kicking again. It is that time of the year where we have wind every day, it seems. As we await the return of Southern 630 here at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. And the train crew today, they were working back steam whistle today. It sounded fantastic. And as you know, rail fanning is like catching fish. You sit in the boat, you know there's one somewhere. You just got to wait for the next one to bite. So, we could have our next Norfolk Southern up top, or the Southern 630 literally will be coming right at you, puffing and belching steam and smoke and cinders at us. Where we are going to have an 88-degree day, they tell us, with a breeze.
leaving Garland and Junction eastbound. The double ramp. That's right. Double ramp, 1, 2. Pretty full trip.
Hey, you!
Hot car, 630. 100. 100. 100. 100. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do. Hey, Jack, people to get off the ramp. For you, Jack. 630 ramp on the 100. Ramp 5, 630.
Well, everybody, 6:30 has returned to Grand Junction. Everybody, it's been a great sunrise here at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, where so many of you have the same feelings as I do. One of the greatest places on the planet to hang out. Good trains, good food, good people, good times, good memories, good everything. If you've never been here, do. We are not promoted by or sponsored by or anything with TVRM. It's just a fantastic place to be. So, from Casey and I, with that gust of wind that blew over the live sign, We will see you later today at the next crossing as we conclude our morning here at Grand Junction with Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. We're going to stop in at the open house, see everybody at the Model Railroad Club right here. And then and it's a functioning one. It's great. It's huge. They got stuff everywhere. I thought I heard a horn, but I think it's over on the CSX line if I did hear it. Okay, so from Casey and I, thanks for being here with us, and we will see you later today, later this morning, who knows how soon, at the next crossing, but we will see you again today. Thanks everybody for being on, and it has been a fantastic morning to spend with you all. Just a picture perfect, beautiful morning. See y'all at the next crossing.